Nobody was supposed to see this. Cameras were off, doors were closed, and chaos was already brewing inside the Intuit Dome locker room. Luka Dončić is slumped over his locker, drenched after a brutal 39-minute war. His jersey is torn. His face is burning red. Just a few feet away, Redick is pacing like a man ready to snap. Then it explodes. A chair flies across the room. And no, it wasn't Luka who threw it. It was Redick. This all went down after Redick's press conference on January 23, 2026. That night wasn't just another loss to the Clippers. That was the moment the Luka to Lakers dream officially turned into a nightmare. While fans watched highlights, Redick stood at the mic and publicly stabbed one of the best players alive, all to protect his own ego. This might be the end of the Lakers as we know them, and wait until you hear what the so-called King LeBron was doing while his superstar teammate was left hanging. Forget the box score for a second. On paper, the Lakers lost 112-104. Luka dropped 32 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists. Looks like a tough night, right? Wrong. The real chaos started the second Redick sat down for that press conference. He didn't look like a coach who just lost. He looked like someone who rehearsed every word. He leaned into the mic, checked his watch, and said the line that shattered the honeymoon phase. He told the world the team needs trust. Then he said, and this is a direct quote, that it all starts with Luka.
There's got to be a trust factor with all our guys, just to trust the pass, and that starts with Luka. He's going to have the ball the most of everyone. He's got to trust the pass.
Notice what he didn't say. No talk about the Clippers bench bullying him. No mention of Ihasba grabbing 19 rebounds. No accountability. Nothing about fixing mistakes as a coach. He went straight at Luka. That's wild. That's Redick trying to damage Luka's reputation in real time. He zeroed in on Luka's 38.1% usage rate, like it was a crime scene. He basically gaslit the whole world into thinking the Lakers lost because Luka was a so-called ball hog, not because the rest of the roster shot a miserable 34% from three. And here's the strangest part of that entire press conference.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, again, I think it just goes back to the human element of everything, and guys are worried about their futures, and that's what happens when you got a team full of free agents and player options.
LeBron James was supposed to speak right after JJ, but he never showed up. He left the arena before the media even got inside. Insiders believe LeBron actually signed off on JJ's comments before they were said. But before we get there, you have to look at what happened in the tunnel. This is a textbook snake move. Turn the superstar into the villain and disappear. Suddenly, nobody talks about the rookie coach who blew a 26-point lead. The hypocrisy is wild. This is the same Redick who built a media brand off the Mind the Game podcast, playing the role of a pure basketball thinker. He spent months on camera with LeBron, praising Luka's basketball IQ like it was sacred. He used to say elite playmakers need the ball because they see things others don't. But the second his coaching record started looking shaky, he flipped. He traded real basketball principles for locker room politics. And this is the part the mainstream media is scared to touch. Once the cameras shut off, things got even uglier. Luka didn't just accept that disrespect quietly. He saw the press clips playing on tunnel monitors and waited for JJ. No closed office, no next day meeting. He wanted answers right there. He allegedly confronted him right there in front of the training staff. And don't get it twisted, the timing wasn't random. The trade deadline was only 2 weeks away. By branding Luka as uncoachable or someone who doesn't trust the pass, JJ was building himself an escape route. He was telling Rob Pelinka and the front office, my system works. The star is the problem. This was about protecting his job, even if it meant burning Luka on the way out. The ultimate betrayal from a guy who sold himself as a player's coach. Instead of calling out the players actually selling on the floor, JJ went straight at the only guy keeping this team breathing. But if you think the tunnel moment was the peak, nah, it got worse. Because once those locker room doors shut, Things went off the rails. Normally after a loss, it's quiet, phones out, heads down, waiting to leave. But that night, the fuse JJ, lit at the podium, finally hit the powder keg. According to insiders, Luka was sitting at his locker, chest still pounding after 39 brutal minutes. He's staring at the box score. 32 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists. On paper, that's elite. Then he looks up at the monitors and sees JJ's press conference replaying. Not the whole thing, just the part where JJ says, "That starts with Luka." And right then, Luka snapped. JJ walks in holding his clipboard, looking like a professor ready to lecture. Luka stands up, steps straight to him, and according to people in that room, he yelled, "Trust who?" JJ, who exactly am I supposed to trust out there? Luka snapped. Redick tried to stay calm, going into talk about spacing and usage rates, but Luka wasn't buying any of it. He called out the hypocrisy and reportedly said, "You want me to trust the pass? I give them the ball and they treat it like a grenade." Then he pushed it further. "You want stats? Look at the stats." And that's when it got personal. Luka stopped speaking in general terms and started naming names. He pointed straight across the room, right at DeAndre Ayton. The frustration had been building for weeks, and this was the explosion. Luka reportedly questioned how a 7-footer on a max contract could fumble point-blank lobs the way he did that night. Luka was so heated, he nearly stormed into the tunnel. Ayton finished with just 4 points. 4 in 20 minutes. The Lakers' main big was basically invisible. He got dominated by Ivica Zubac, who pulled down 19 rebounds, while Luka was shredding the defense, drawing doubles and placing passes right on a silver platter, only for those passes to get dropped or stripped by smaller guards. Then Luka turned to Rui Hachimura. Fans love Rui, but that night was rough. He went 2 for 7 from 3, and these were wide open looks. Luka reportedly yelled, "Rui, I trust you. I give you the ball and you miss again and again. How is that on me?"
If you're able to get some guys that have some IQ about it as well, it unlocks even more.
It just makes it harder to guard off of all of these off-ball actions.
Yeah, and you're dealing with the best players in the world.
And here's the key difference in all of this. Luka kept everything inside the locker room, not on live TV with millions watching, but the tension still hit a breaking point. When JJ Redick tried to pull rank, he told Luka to sit down and respect the process. That was the absolute worst thing you could say to a guy who just carried the franchise for 4 straight quarters. He gave everything, still got blamed, while his teammates shot a combined 33.3% from the floor. According to insiders, Luka lunged forward, but he didn't throw a punch. That's when Marcus Smart stepped in fast. He put both hands on Luka's chest, pushing him back toward the locker. Smart was reportedly yelling, "Not here, not like this." Even he looked fed up, and that says everything. What really sets people off is how JJ Redick tried to sell the world a fake story. He kept pointing at Luka's 38.1% usage rate like it was the problem. But the numbers tell a completely different truth. Just look at the potential assists. In this one game alone, Luka had 18 potential assists. If teammates simply hit open shots, he finishes with 18 assists, not 8. Instead, the Lakers sit in the bottom 10 of the league in three-point shooting, hitting a weak 34.8% as a team. So when JJ says trust the pass, he's asking Luka to trust one of the worst shooting groups in the league. That's like asking a master chef to trust a kitchen that keeps burning the food. And if you really want proof of how much the Lakers need Luka with the ball, check the on-off numbers. With Luka on the floor, the offense hums. The moment he sits, everything collapses. Without his gravity, the offense looks lost. Right now, the Lakers rank near the bottom in scoring and assists. When the locker room finally cleared, the damage was already done. Luka barely spoke to the media, just a few short lines. And as he walked toward the bus, the message was loud without a single word. He was seen stopping in the hallway for a short but tense exchange with Rob Pelinka. Nobody knows exactly what was said, but witnesses swear Luka locked eyes with Pelinka and pointed straight back toward the locker room where JJ was still sitting. The Luka in LA dream is officially sliding into nightmare territory, and everyone in that building felt it. But here's the twist. This drama didn't start with this game. If you think that locker room blow-up was just about losing to the Clippers, you missed the real story. This wasn't heat-of-the-moment stuff. This was the final snap of a trap that had been tightening for months. Redick has been building this since December. While the media crowned him a pure basketball mind, he was quietly running a long campaign to humble Luka. This wasn't coaching, it was psychological pressure. Let's rewind to mid-December after that ugly loss to the Spurs. Instead of pulling his superstar aside like a real leader, JJ went straight to the microphones and put Luka on blast. He told the world the stars needed to give more effort on defense. To casual fans, that sounded like tough love, but anyone paying attention saw the move. And here's the wild part. Luka took the high road. He sat there and admitted JJ was right. That moment sealed it. JJ got Luka to publicly take the blame. That's when the scapegoat was chosen. From that point on, every defensive breakdown pointed back at Luka. Meanwhile, the Lakers sit bottom 5 in fast break points allowed. JJ built himself a human shield to cover his coaching issues. And the double standard that followed should make your blood boil. Have you noticed JJ has never called out LeBron's defense? Not once. Look at the tape. LeBron is 41 in year 23, and everyone's pretending this is normal. With the Lakers, he's sitting on a 119 defensive rating, one of the worst on the roster. Opponents walk into the paint like it's open season when he's on the floor. Yet JJ treats him like he's untouchable. Why? Because JJ knows exactly who signs the checks. Let's be real. He didn't get that job by accident. He got hired because of his connection with LeBron from the podcast days. He's not just LeBron's coach, he's his media partner. So instead of holding LeBron accountable, JJ uses Luka as the punching bag to prove authority he's too scared to use on the real power. And don't even get started on the tactical nonsense. Why is JJ starting DeAndre Ayton over a high-energy rim runner? Everyone knows what Luka needs. A vertical threat who rolls hard and catches lobs. Instead, JJ ties him to Ayton, a big who wants mid-range touches and struggles, finishing easy plays. Look at that Mavs game on the 25th. Luka throws a perfect fast break lob and Ayton flat out smokes it. Again, that's not random. That's a pattern. JJ is forcing Luka into a slow, post-heavy system just to drain the creativity that made him unstoppable in Dallas. But JJ isn't stopping with Luka. He's throwing the entire front office under the bus too. After the Clippers loss, he dropped that human element line about contract anxiety. He actually blamed effort on guys like Rui Hachimura, Marcus Smart, and Gabe Vincent, worrying about their 2026 options. Think about how toxic this really is. He's basically telling Rob Pelinka, I can't coach these guys because you handed out bad contracts. It's the same move again. Shift the blame upward and pretend everyone failed except him. What makes it even crazier is the rumor floating around league circles. Allegedly, JJ is coaching with trades in mind. The theory is simple. He puts players he doesn't favor, especially Luka's guys, into roles where they're guaranteed to struggle. Make them look like liabilities, force the front office's hand, and clear the way for his people. That means tanking his own players' value just to win a power battle. And you don't need blind faith to see it. Just check the numbers. Under Jason Kidd, Luka was a triple-double machine, dropping nearly 34 points with close to 10 assists. Under JJ, he's working twice as hard for the same results. The Magic is getting squeezed out by a coach who thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. And the worst part? LeBron stays quiet. As long as the media debates Luka's defense or usage, nobody's talking about LeBron's decline or the roster decisions dragging this team down during a crisis. LeBron is playing the long game. He protects his legacy and his hand-picked coach while Luka takes the heat. But that locker room blow-up shows Luka finally sees the setup for what it is. Let's be real. We've seen this movie before, and it always ends the same way. Calling out a star's usage rate is the oldest trick in the book. The media pulled the same move on James Harden in Houston. They labeled him selfish for holding the ball, but real ones know better. Harden wasn't hogging. He was carrying a broken situation. When your teammates are mostly role players who can't create their own offense, you have to hold the ball. And look at this 2026 Lakers bench. It's dry. Austin Reeves, the only other guy who can actually get his own shot, hasn't played a single minute since Christmas because of that calf injury. So who's creating offense right now? Gabe Vincent is struggling, and everyone else is a finisher, not a creator. If Luka doesn't control the ball, this offense doesn't slow down. It completely dies. JJ knows this, or at least he used to know it. That's what makes this whole thing so frustrating. Go back to those Mind the Game podcast clips from a couple years ago. JJ and LeBron sitting there with wine bottles, spending 20 minutes praising guys like Luka. They literally argue that elite playmakers should have high usage because they see the whole defense like a chessboard. But the moment JJ's win-loss record gets shaky, suddenly Luka is the issue. Suddenly usage rate is treated like a crime. And honestly, JJ is starting to resemble the worst type of coach, theory over reality. You remember Jim Boylan in Chicago? The guy who treated players like factory workers and worshiped his system more than talent. Or even Rick Carlisle near the end in Dallas. Carlisle is a legend, but his my way or nothing approach nearly pushed Luka out of the league. Carlisle was rigid about every set, every pass, every rotation, and it drained the joy out of the game. JJ was supposed to be the player's coach who fixed that. The new school guy who understood one simple rule. You give a genius like Luka the keys, and you get out of the way. Instead, JJ is morphing into Carlisle 2.0. And now you have to ask the real question. Is this organization just broken, or is JJ completely in over his head? Think about it. Frank Vogel won a championship and got fired. Darvin Ham reached the conference final and was treated like he couldn't coach. At some point, you have to stop blaming the stars and look in the mirror. Now we got JJ, and the Lakers are right back in the same toxic loop. At some point, you have to admit it. Redick isn't the fix. He's just the latest guy hired because he's close with LeBron, and that's the real tragedy. Luka came to LA chasing a legacy. Instead, he walked into a circus where the ringmaster is more worried about his own image than helping the best player he's ever coached. If JJ keeps trying to box Luka into some podcast theory, there's no championship coming. He's not building a winner. He's building a reputation as the coach who helped break the Lakers. We're 2 weeks from the February trade deadline, and the vibe around this team is straight radioactive. Ask yourself this: why would a rookie coach publicly turn on a top 3 player in the world right before the deadline? This isn't just coaching anymore. It's a power play. Either Luka bends to the system or he gets nudged toward the exit. And the whispers are already out there. If things don't change, teams like the Heat and Nets are circling. By calling Luka uncoachable, JJ is handing the front office a clean excuse to pivot. The LeBron-Luka experiment is cooked. And you want to know who still believes in Luka? Mavericks fans. When the Lakers rolled into the American Airlines Center on the 24th, nobody booed him. They stood up. They chanted MVP, MVP at the free throw line. Think about how wild that is. His old fans respect him more than his current head coach. Right now, JJ Redick has lost the locker room. You can't publicly embarrass the guy carrying your franchise and expect elite play in return. Luka is entering his prime, and JJ treats him like a rebuild project. If the Lakers don't fix this fast, this isn't just a lost season. This is franchise-level damage. So here's the real question. Is JJ Redick's massive ego about to be the reason Luka Dončić walks out of Los Angeles? If you're watching this and you see what's really going on, hit that like button so this story doesn't get buried. Subscribe if you want the truth about the Lakers, Luka, and the power games nobody wants to talk about. And share this video with someone who still thinks this is just basketball, because it's way bigger than that. Drop your take in the comments. Is JJ out of his depth, or is Luka being set up?